All right, everybody, welcome back to the weekly challenge. I am Rob Barrington here from BridgeLesson.com, and I am your host for this weekly madness event with the robot. We are on another challenge this week, a 10-board challenge, and this time we laid a beat down on the robot last week. So I'm going back to their strong suit, which is having them bid for us. I'm playing in what's called a just declare challenge, and this is a great way to practice just your straight declare play. So the robots will have had an auction prior to us arriving for each of these boards, and I'm going to show you that auction in a moment. But here we're kind of just going to be tasked with taking or playing the contract that the robot puts us in. All right, so they're actually pretty good at this. Their play is certainly better than their understanding of the auctions, or at least the best methods there. So here, last time we played this, the robot beat us, I think. So we're going to try to kind of get the best result we possibly can with the robots having bid these hands. And let's take a look at what that auction was here. We're playing imps, by the way. So here, overtricks aren't going to make a huge difference. Just kind of making our contract each time will be very important. So here, the auction didn't reveal anything about the opponent's hands, right? We opened 2-no trump. And it went Stayman, we bid 3 spades, and then partner jumped to 4 spades. And let's just take a look at the auction real quick. We might as well talk about some bidding while we're here. Does this strike you as an auction that would make some sense? Take a peek at the south hand. This is the hand that opened 2-no trump. So the auction makes a lot of sense in one way and no sense in the other. And here's what I mean. I would always open 2-no trump with this south hand, right? This is a very good choice by the robots. They have 20 to 21 balanced. And even though that includes a very nice 5-card spade suit, I want you to look at that spade suit and ask yourself, how many tricks would that be in no trump? The spade suit would be exactly the same number of tricks in no trump as it would in a suit. So when we're balanced, even when we have a 5-card major, we're going to default to our no trump ranges when we have them. So the same would be true if we had 15 or 16. We would open this one no trump. Here, same instinct at play here, opening 2-no trump with your balanced hands, 5, 3, 3, 2. Now, the mistake here was Stayman, right? So take a peek. The north hand bid 3 clubs, found a spade fit, and then put us into game. The problem with that is the shape of the north hand. This hand is 4, 3, 3, 3. I want to show you this hand and tell you that you should never bid Stayman with this shape. No matter what partner opens, if you have a normal Stayman bid to make, you don't do it when you're this flat. And the wisdom here is, when we are this flat, we know partner's balanced. So first of all, do you think this north hand is going to rough anything during the play of a spade contract if we happen to find a fit? The answer is no. And the other part we're thinking about is, hey, our partner has advertised a balanced hand. Right? So if we have 2 balanced hands, we are much better off playing in no trump. This is one of the rare occasions where we would certainly forego a major suit fit, because no trump is so likely to just be making the same number of tricks as our suit contract. And I think this will bear out as we play this hand. But first things first, when you see the 10 of hearts get led, what should you be thinking? This is the only piece of information the opponents have given us so far. And what I would be thinking, just from a practical sense, let's just jump back here and just show you what happened. We opened 2-no trump. So do you think a good defender to our left, the person that made this opening lead, do we think that they're going to be making a lead away from good cards? Meaning, what we're trying to determine is, do they have the king of hearts, right? And the answer should be, I highly doubt they have the king of hearts, right? Because they wouldn't lead away from their king into the 2-no trump opening bidder. That is a bad choice of leads. Now, is this guaranteed to be correct? Is the king always to the east players? No, West might just be making a bad lead, right? And the other question you want to ask yourself, at least at this point, is, okay, now that we've figured that out, is there a way to get rid of a heart loser other than taking a finesse? And the answer here, and based on what we've just discussed, you can see that we are mirror images in our minor suits, right? So is there any way we're going to be able to pitch a heart on this one? No, right? We're not going to be able to play a winner and be out of it in the other hand. So here, even though you should expect the king of hearts to be to your right, you're still going to take this finesse, because in the unlikely spot that they led away from the king, now you get to take extra heart tricks and you get a discard here for sure. So first things first, we're going to play low. And wow, okay. So robots did a bad thing, right? Which we're going to take advantage of later, right? So first of all, we get to win our Queen of Hearts. And now we should absolutely know the king is to our left, right? There's no reason why East wouldn't play the king here, especially knowing how this auction went for us, right? So at this moment, we know we can take a heart finesse later by just playing a heart to the jack. But do we need to do any work first? When we're playing in a suit contract, sometimes we're going to want to ruff early. And again, as discussed, we're not taking any ruffs on this hand because we're both very balanced, right? So here, after we successfully win this finesse, we'll draw some trump. Ace of spades, king of spades. One more to go, right? We had 9 to start with. I'm just going to stay in my hand here. And now I'm going to play a heart to the jack. Oh my God, are you serious? Look at this play, my goodness. Okay, so as I'm telling you this, hey, the king of hearts is always to our left. Why wouldn't they take it? They take it, right? So is this a disaster? No, not really, right? When they win the king, it's honestly, I'm a little upset that they won the king because I didn't have to lose that trick. I could have hopped up with the ace and not had a heart loser. But I get something beneficial on the side here. Notice in the club suit and in the diamond suit, I may have, the club suit, I may have 2 losers. In the diamond suit, I may also have a loser, right? So I'm going to have to guess, or really the queen of diamonds has to be to my right in order to take a successful diamond finesse. But because of the way we've played hearts, we've now created a pitch for our side. So in losing to the king of hearts, we lost a trick we didn't have to lose, but we're going to get this back. And what we're hoping, really, we really hope the queen of diamonds is over here, right? If the queen of diamonds is over here, we're actually doing a good thing by getting rid of our diamond loser now and winning this ace of hearts, right? If the queen of diamonds is to our right, maybe we lost an extra trick here in the wash. Who knows? We'll find out. But here we're going to just now play a club, right? We're playing a club to the jack, finessing for the queen. And now here comes a club back. Notice the queen is to our right here, so if we play the 10, they're going to play that here. We're just hoping they hop up with the queen mistakenly. And okay, now we have a nice extra trick here. And notice we just gave them a chance to go wrong, right? If I play the 10 there, they're going to cover with the queen and the 10's dead, right? Now their 9 or their 8 will be a winner for their side. Here, if I just play low, they don't know necessarily what's right, especially if lefty has like 9-7 or something. They don't know what's right to put the 8 in, right? Or maybe they just have queen doubleton to start with. Who knows? All we're doing is making sure if something good is happening, we're able to take advantage of it by winning that 10 of clubs now, right? And now we just have the rest, right? We get to play diamond, and we hope we see the queen to our left. Let's go. Queen. Where's that queen of diamonds? Let's see. Yes, very nice. All right, so when we get to the results page here, I'll show you what I'm talking about towards the end there. But here, making 5, pretty darn good considering, you know, we did lose an extra heart trick, but it ended up giving us a way to pitch a loser anyway. So let's jump over and take a peek. So here we go. Again, the play was pretty straightforward. Again, once we play low here, it's look at East. All right, so think about this. With that many hearts that you can see in the dummy, and I know this person led the 10 of hearts, but it could be 10-9 third like it was, or they might have thought it was a doubleton. So really, they were making a play that could have produced an extra trick and was kind of tricky on their side. They were maybe trying to create a ruff for their partner, not knowing we had the doubleton. But when we win the queen of hearts initially, I'm never thinking the king is to my right, especially considering I get to draw all the trump and then take this finesse later. But if it was, you know, if the queen of diamonds was to our right and the rest of the play went as normal, then, you know, maybe we could have taken an extra trick and we'd given something up here. But here, once we play this finesse afterwards, where we drew 3 rounds of trump, and then we play a heart to the jack and it loses, then all is not lost. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now that the king is won, I still have the ace of hearts, which means I still get to get rid of a losing diamond. And notice I can't get rid of this any other way. I can't take a finesse from this direction because they can just cover with the queen and set up their partner's 10. Right? And if I take a finesse this way in diamonds, I'm losing to that queen. Right? So as long as the queen was there, we're gaining by just pitching our diamond on this ace of hearts. And take a look at the mistake the robot made. This is really amazing. Once we took our heart finesse and it lost. No, sorry, a little bit too far here. We saw them lead a heart and we pitched our diamond. That was great. And now we just play a low club. Notice we're not playing the 10 of clubs. And I want you to think of it always in this way. If we're going to play the 10, if they cover it, are they setting up a trick for their side or for ours? Well, if we had the 9 of clubs, it would be automatic to play the 10. But we don't, right? So we don't want them to cover that and start creating tricks with their cards rather than ours. So instead of this, and the reason we were so successful is we did play a low club. And now it goes Jack, Ace. And here is the disaster. All our lefty has to do is lead back the 9 of clubs. If they lead back the 9 of clubs, partner will now know that once it goes 9 and we play low, they can duck the queen and force out our king. But when they lead the 7, guys, the robot's confused, right? And in fact, they think we might be looking at the 8 or the 9, so they're going to try to force out our card, and maybe they're hoping partner has the king of clubs, which I suppose they could have room for at this point. But at this moment, all we do is prepare for this, right? We're not expecting this to go so well, but we're definitely preparing for it to go well if it's possible, right? The 10 gives us no chance, right? If we played the 10, they have no choice but to play the queen, and now we set up the 9 and the 8 over here, right? So bad play by the robot, to be honest. They should have led low. But really, when we get back to the actual full result here, we wish we were playing in a normal challenge. We would have won this board, because guess what contract we would have been playing in? We would have been playing 3-0. Right, and we can take 5 spades, 2 hearts is 7, 2 diamonds is 9, and 2 clubs for 11. Right, if it gets played this way, and they gave us an extra trick on this club play. So really, if all things being equal and we defend and play perfectly, we would be in each contract making 4, and the no trump contract would score more in a match point situation. The big thing is though, we're playing imps, so here it's not really going to make any difference whatsoever. And maybe an over trick here or there based on being flat, or sometimes maybe we play 3-0 and we only make 3, where 4 spades goes down, right? So with balanced hands, we certainly do not want to be in a spade contract. We want to be in no trump, and that's even when we're talking about imps, right? It just means it's going to play better. All right, let's see what's going on in number 2. Looks like a pretty reasonable hand on both sides of the table. And let's see the auction. Did they give us any information here? Nope, just our auction here. I don't want to cover too much of what the robots are doing with their minor suit stuff, but just recognize that we ended up in 3-no trump. And when you don't see the opponent's bidding, guys, you don't really have to worry about any information that you might be missing from their side, right? So here, let's take a peek. Count your winners first, and then plan out the play. And if you need any extra time, you can always hit pause and come back when you're ready. I'm going to go relatively quickly as usual. Well, let's look at this lead. What kind of lead is this, guys? It is a 4th best lead, right? And well, it should be. The robots do make different leads, but let me give you a scenario here. If this is a 4th best lead, what does that mean about right-hand opponents' club holding? And this is what's called the rule of 11. Right? The rule of 11 is as follows. If, and this is a big if, I know the robot does weird stuff, if this is a 4th best lead, which means it's 4th from the highest, we can use the rule of 11 to determine what's going on in the other hands that are around the table. So here I would take 4, and I would subtract it from 11, and that would give me the number 7. And this means that in all 3 of the remaining hands, and that is this hand, and our own hand, so 2 of which we can see and 1 of which we can't. But in the remaining 3 hands, there are a total of 7 cards higher than the 4 of clubs. Okay, so how many can we see? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. That means that all of our cards that we can see are higher than the 7, which means, or sorry, higher than the 4, which means East has how many cards that are higher than the 4 of clubs? If this is a 4th best lead, it should be absolutely 0. And that means if we play low here, we probably will hold this trick. Now, what we will know is if we play low and right-hand opponent plays a card higher than the 6, we should know this is not a 4th best lead. All right, we'll know that from the robots, which would be kind of weird here, but we're going to play the 6 and see what happens. And there it is. There's the 7. So now we know lefty was not making a traditional fourth best lead, right? This never fails as long as it's fourth best. And here we could see 7 cards higher than the 4, so that means that this cannot have been a fourth best lead. So we will win our ace. And now we are just going to play another club. And here's the problem, right? Right-hand opponent actually had the one that had 5 clubs on this hand. So good information. We should know now that, okay, there was nothing we were going to do to take extra tricks originally. And we're not going to take all of these club tricks over in that dummy unless the opponents do something as far as pitching clubs. And really, when I say opponents, I mean if East pitches a club, we will now take an extra trick. And if they never pitch a club, we're only taking 4 club tricks, right? So we're just going to do nothing but win this trick. And now we have to adjust, right? We were just going to rip off some clubs here and then make some decision afterwards on what we wanted to do. But now we know we're only taking 2 of those tricks. So what's next, guys? Where are our extra tricks going to come from now? Yeah, we're going to take a couple of those clubs, but we're also going to try to take tricks that we don't have just yet. And 2 places that we should be looking are diamonds and spades. The spade suit might provide 1 extra trick. And that's if the suit is dividing 3 and 3. We could surrender a spade trick at some point and then take this 4th spade as an extra winner. However, when you see this player started with only 1 club and this one started with 5, what do you think the likelihood of suits dividing evenly is? It can happen, but it's not as likely to be happening, right? We know this player is short in a suit over here, so we should know that the rest of their hand tends to be unbalanced, right? So not to say we won't try this at some point if we can afford to give up a trick, but here the diamond suit looks like it's going to provide winners immediately. The heart suit, you might be thinking, hey, maybe we'll get an extra one there. That's really only going to be if the opponents help us out by leading it and by pitching one of their cards away, or both of their cards away, or just leading away from them. So here, I'm just going to play a diamond towards my jack, and this is an interesting one. You might put in the 9 here and finesse for everything. I'm going to play the jack first, and for a few reasons. They might have trouble figuring out what to come back, but also I can, come back to this particular play. Now they switch to a spade, which is the 9. We play low. And what do you want to do? Make your play. Here's what I want to get known first. I've taken 2 tricks. I might as well make sure I count all my winners at this point to see, where I stand. So 2 tricks in the bank, and you can see that just right over my head here. 2 tricks our side. We have 2 extra clubs. That's 4. We have 2 hearts. That's 6, and 2 spades. That's 8. Are we at 9 tricks yet? Not quite yet. Do the opponents have 4 or 5 tricks ready to take? No. All right. So at this point, I'm determining that I have the ability to lose tricks still and be successful in my contract. So I am going to lose that trick now. And this is a precursor to testing for this suit being 3-3, right? If it's 3-3, we're definitely going to take some extra tricks. Now I'm going to win the ace of spades, keep room in my hand. And here's, when you see the jack here, not too surprising, right? This could be breaking badly as discussed, right? I'm not going to burn my hard entry just yet over there. I am now going to play a diamond towards my hand, and this is a disaster, right? Now we know that lefty had the ace, the queen, and the 10 of diamonds, right? So we're losing extra tricks in this spot. And if they have the long spade, guess what? We're probably going down now. But nothing we can do. We just play the 9, let them win their 10. Maybe they do something good for us. Okay, now we see the writing on the wall. Take a look. We're going to win the king of spades. But if we're counting, we should know they have an extra spade over here, and they have the ace of diamonds, right? We can set up this 8 of diamonds. The problem is, let's count our winners once again. We have 2 clubs. We have 2 hearts left to take. We have 4 tricks in the bank. That's 8. That's not enough. Right, so we're in a spot of trouble on this one, but really there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. Right, even if let's say the hearts, let's say if we have queen jack doubleton of hearts, we might be able to do this. What do you think the likelihood of that is? Also exceptionally low at this point. So we're really kind of just not going to be able to take anything extra at this particular moment. So we can play the king of diamonds and just lock up down 1 at this point. There's the king setting up that 8. Here comes a spade. We just pitch the club that we know is a loser. And now we just have entries to that dummy, and we're going to take all those tricks. Right? So boom, There it is, down one. Let's take a peek at those results and see if there's any sort of weird play we could have made to be successful here. So if we know things are going to go as badly as they did for us, we have ways to make this, and it involves kind of throwing our left-hand opponent in to do some of our dirty work for us. However, and this one, first of all, let's just discuss one thing. What would you have led against 3-no trump on this hand, guys? Right, so the North player made some sort of minor suit illusion with their 2-spade bid. So, I mean, you'd probably be leading the 10 of spades by lefty or the 7 of diamonds, right? Those are more normal leads. The robot gets a ridiculous win by leading a singleton club that doesn't cost them, right? And notice it didn't give us any timing on this hand. If clubs are 4-2, we're just sitting pretty immediately. But unfortunately, they're 5-1. And again, a very odd play by the robot, but something that ends up working for them here. But let's just take a look at where we were. At this point, we played some clubs. We found out the bad news. And then we took a diamond finesse towards the jack here, which lost to the queen. And now when we duck this spade, as discussed, we're just hoping it's dividing more evenly, right? So we take our loser now, and then when we play the ace and king, we maintain control while also simultaneously finding out if it's breaking evenly. So we'll take our extra trick in that realm. But at this point, they return the spade, we win the ace, and now if we play a couple of clubs and pitch maybe a heart or two and let left-hand opponent lead, at some point they're going to have to come down to ace small of diamonds, or they're going to pitch enough diamonds where we can just set up a trick that way, right? So if we are reading this hand perfectly at a certain moment, we might be able to do this. But to be honest, this seemed very normal just to take another diamond finesse lead towards this king, and disaster, right? Once we do this, I believe we can't recover. Let's take a peek. Yeah, we're just down one from this point. So, I mean, if I could see the hands, or I could see that the righty was 5-5 in their suits, we might have been able to just figure this out and throw left-hand opponent in and make them lead. But they have to have kind of the perfect cards for us to be able to do that. Playing the queen jack of clubs is interesting from the dummy at this point, though. It could have led to more information from our side. The problem is we can't really know exactly what to pitch. That's the tough part about running clubs. Even if they broke evenly, after we took that second club, we weren't necessarily going to want to play clubs at that point, because we were going to have to be guessing what the heck to pitch on this hand, and that becomes a real tough problem. So here, didn't get the distribution we wanted. We'll hope the robot didn't play this brilliantly and come ahead on this one, because this would be a massive swing, right? We're minus 100. If they're like plus 600 on this hand, we're in real trouble so far. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the robot is a great declarer, so we'll see. Maybe we have a little bit of catching up to do, but we won't go do anything too crazy to recover unless we really have some more bad boards in the future. So first 2 boards down. Again, this is our recompense for us crushing the robot in a match point tournament or match point challenge last week. We may be behind them once again in this Just Declare tournament, and we'll tip our caps to a weird but successful lead on the second board. Here is where we're going to start tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and let's take a look at what auction we had. Again, just our auction, 1 spade, 2 spades, a contract that you don't see too often because the opponents will balance pretty frequently, but I think the vulnerability here might have kept them out of it. Plan some of your play here, guys, in 2 spades. The opponent is leading a spade against this, which isn't the worst thing. And we'll see how well you did tomorrow. I'll catch you then.